Aloha, everyone. My name is Cap. Welcome to Open Source Stories, Season 1. I want to say episode 7. We had to skip last week. Last week, we had our flagship events. We had NextConf and we had Ship AI. So we were heads down in that, super busy. But the person that we skipped last week, we will bring them back next week. So don't fret. But this week, we have a very awesome special guest. It is Ellie from Inbox Zero. Let's bring Ellie to the stage. Ellie, welcome.
Hey, thank you for having me. Excited to
Of
be here.
course. So I actually don't know. Where are you joining from?
I'm actually joining from Tel Aviv, from Israel.
Amazing. What time is it for you?
6 p.m.
Okay, not too bad. And we had one where the streamer was on at 2 a.m. in Australia. I was like,
Dedication.
love it. Okay, so if you are joining in, if you are in the chat, feel free to ask questions to Ellie. We're just going to be talking about open source stuff and the project that he's built. But if you have any questions along the way, put them in the chat and we'll get those answered. Also, let us know where you're joining in from. I am joining in from Denver, and it is a beautiful fall day. It is exactly what you want in Colorado. So yeah, we're super excited. Ellie, okay, so let's do quick intros. Do you want to
Sure.
introduce yourself and what you do?
Yeah, sure. So my name's Ellie. Married with two young daughters, 2 and 4 years old. They're both very cute. About me, computer science background, developer, like 10 plus years experience type thing. I've run a few different companies over the years. I ran an agency for a few years. I raised money for 2 different companies as well. And now, my focus is on Inbox Zero, an AI email assistant to help you manage your email better, and
Awesome.
open source, of course.
Are you only working on Inbox Zero right now? I know that's tough for a dev to only work on one thing, but
Yeah, mostly I have some older businesses that still run, but like 99% of my focus is Inbox Zero, basically. Like the other older stuff just sort of runs on autopilot.
cool. Can you tell everyone about Inbox Zero and like what it does, what it solves?
Yeah, for sure. So, I mean, the problem it tries to solve is that everyone's inbox is a complete mess. Just like we get a ton of
That's
things.
me.
Yeah, I honestly, it's like it's way over 50% of people. Like I'd say it's like 80% of people type thing. We just get a ton of stuff in that inbox. If it's like newsletters or receipts or like work stuff or friends or family, is like or travel. It's just like everything flows in there, and so it's very difficult to stay on top of it. Get to Inbox Zero if that's one of your goals, or reply to things on time, or like filter out what's important. So the goal of Inbox Zero is really to just help you spend less time on email. So better organized things, like we'll tell you every day, like, hey, here are the 5, you got 100 emails today, but we'll label each one that needs a reply and draft a reply for you in your voice. So saving you a lot of time. Like these are the 5 things you should actually focus on. A lot of that other stuff doesn't matter. And then giving you a drafted reply as well speeds things up as well. So that if you're using like Gmail or Outlook, that draft will appear directly in your email editor. So you don't need to learn a new tool. It just gets set up, it runs in the background, and you continue to use Gmail as you would on any other day.
Wait, so it's drafting up emails like with AI and then you look at it and like approve it, or would it send?
Yeah, exactly. So how it works is like it's almost tries to replace a human assistant. So imagine that you could have a human assistant just managing your inbox for you, telling you what's important, drafting the replies, and ready for you to send. So that's basically what Inbox Zero does as well. So the draft, our AI will look through your conversation history. It might look into like sort of other systems you have connected, like your calendar. Someone asks like, hey, are you free to meet 5 p.m. tomorrow? The AI will look through your calendar and draft a response. I mean, like, yeah, that works great for me. Or instead, how about the 7 p.m. work instead? And that it won't send automatically. It just appears there as a draft in Gmail, as if you wrote it, but without having clicked send yet.
That's really cool. So how long has Inbox Zero been around? How long have you been building it?
Yeah, so almost 2 years. It's been like a really long time. It went live on Product Hunt like end of 2023, like December 26th, 2023. It hit first place, and that was sort of like the first moment where, like, I mean, I started building it a bit before, but that felt like sort of the real launch and when it started to get traction and interest from people.
I was gonna say it hit #1 on Product Hunt, so congrats on that. That's amazing. So, what made you want to build it? I know it's like solving a problem, but like we all have this problem, and you actually went to go solve it. What was the motivation behind it?
Yeah, so at the time was sort of finishing with another company I was running, and I spent a lot of my time on email. And I wish I had a human assistant that could just like manage it all for me, and so wouldn't have to look at it. But that like costs a crazy amount of money. Could easily be hundreds or even realistically thousands of dollars a month to hire a personal assistant. And so I was like, well, AI was just sort of starting to kick off around then. Like, I don't remember, maybe GPT-3 or 3.5 around that time. I was like, oh, an AI could probably do like a large amount of what I need right now for me. And so that I don't have to do it, or like at least like cut down like sort of the noise. And so, yeah, that's why I started building it. And I guess ever since, like at the time I was thinking like, oh, maybe I'll do like 12 projects in 12 months, that sort of thing, experiment with a few ideas. But like, yeah, I basically never dropped in, sort of just kept building it. Like I've just always enjoyed building it, and like sort of trying to solve the problems of people. It's a difficult problem to really solve. Ultimately, if you've got like endless tasks and things to do in your email, it's always going to take you a long time to get through it all. But like, yeah, the goal is like, how can we help people as much as possible? How can we help them be more productive? For previous businesses, I was always like sort of setting up systems for my agency, like adding workflows to make things like sort of smoother and more productive. And it was something I enjoyed. And yeah, that's basically what I was aiming to do with Inbox Zero as well.
Got it. Did I hear right that you wanted to do 12 projects in 12 months and then this was number one, so you just stuck with it? Is that what you were saying?
Yeah, I mean, it was a very like brief, like it was never like I didn't have any set plan. But yeah, that's what I said. It was like on my previous company, I was like, oh, it'd be really cool just to build like a lot of stuff, just like throw a lot of stuff out there. But yeah, basically I just stuck with Inbox Zero the whole way.
Nice. So, okay, let's look at Inbox Zero. I'd love for you to like walk us through what people see when they're like using it.
Yeah, sure. So
So
I'll
let's
share my screen. Cool, great. So I'll actually say this is the Inbox Zero product, but you like
Can you zoom in just a little bit?
Pardon? Yeah, I
Can
will.
you zoom in just a little bit?
Yeah. Cool.
Perfect.
Yeah, so this is the product itself. Here you can see a demo account is running. Day to day, people actually just use their regular inbox. So here you can see Gmail. This is a demo account, so it sort of has, I guess, a lot of newsletters that stack up in it. And you can see things like getting labeled as newsletter. Here, this, by the way, is a Chrome extension that we add that helps people like really focus in on what matters. It's almost like the label is down the side, but basically you can get to like zero. If I click the to reply label, I get a whole bunch of noise. If I use the Inbox Zero extension tab bar, then I can just like, yeah, if I handle these 10 emails, basically I'm at zero, or reply zero, basically. But here you can see some examples of like, hey, someone's like, hey, even though what I mentioned before, does 5 p.m. work tomorrow? And here you can see sort of like a drafted response by the AI ready to go. And yeah, what I'll often do myself, just in terms of general usage, like I'll get to my inbox, I will see like 20 newsletters or so. I'll hit newsletter tab, select all, like let's say Lenny's newsletter and maybe Ben at Nextplay. I want to read those. So like, and I'll click archive on all the rest, and I'll just have like 2 emails left here. This account probably has a bunch more in it. Yeah, this one's got a lot, but yeah, that's the basic idea. But yeah, I'll give you a bit of a look around, like sort of the Inbox Zero product itself, maybe even from the onboarding, like builds into it a bit better. But the main things that Inbox Zero does is it sorts your emails, as we mentioned, and it pre-drafts replies. And then we've got a whole bunch of other cool tools like bulk on subscriber and analytics and a few other features that can help you. I guess today, let's say we want the AI personal assistant. This is the onboarding. We'll say we're a realtor, for example. Small company, and yeah, at this point in the setup you can see the categories we automatically set up for you. This works really well for basically people in general. You can see we're like labeling all the different types of emails you get. Things like cold emails or marketing emails, or skip them from the inbox, so they'll still be there, they'll be labeled, you can jump back to them whenever you want. And you can also like really customize it to your own needs. So if you're a realtor, you can be like, hey, like buyer leads, I also want them labeled, or closing, maybe I want to automatically reply with a certain like contract or whatever it is. We automatically draft replies for you, as I mentioned, and you can really set any rules you want. And so similar to like if you had a human assistant, you might pass them a document and you'd be like, hey, this is how I want you to manage my email. This is how we respond to affiliate emails. This is how we respond to like brand deals and so on. So You can basically pass all that information to inbox zero. The defaults work well for people, and also the drafted replies will be using your email history. But yeah, that's sort of like the product overall, like sort of high level in a nutshell. And obviously there's sort of a whole bunch of things you can do here to customize it to your needs and what you want to do with it. But yeah, that should give you like a decent idea of the product.
So cool. So, I mean, this is a big project. This is a lot of stuff. Why did you decide to open source this?
Yeah, it's a good question. At the time, I guess I mean, there's a few reasons. I had built a bunch of projects over the years, and sometimes like we shut them down, and it was like it would be nice like for the project to sort of live on forever, and also it'd be something I could showcase, like even if even if the product doesn't take off, at least there's the open source repo can like sort of helpful for my resume, and like just sort of like to show sort of more things I built. And obviously I probably would have kept the product around regardless, but like sort of having the code open as well would also be nice. So that was sort of one of the things in my head for like a few years that I was always thinking when I'm building projects. It'd be nice to have it as open source. But I think sort of the real reasons are I had a YouTube channel. I still actually do have a YouTube channel. This is streaming right now to the YouTube channel. And it's called Learn from Open Source. And I would go into open source projects like cal.com or Papermark or Dub, and I would read through the code of the project and explain it to people and teach it. And it was something I did for myself. I wasn't actually intending to grow the channel. Today, it's grown to almost 10,000 subscribers. But I was doing it for myself to learn about different open source projects, working alone. This was like a good opportunity to learn like sort of what bigger projects or more established projects are doing. And I could also teach it, like teaching it to someone made it like much easier for me to pick it up and learn about the project myself, because the sort of being forced to like teach it, I had to learn the project quite well myself. So just having that channel as sort of an asset was like another reason to open source Inbox Zero. So you use sort of the, promote the product on the channel as well. And a lot of my videos, like when I'm building features in Inbox Zero, like recently there's been like MCP integration, and I want to talk about that on the channel. So it's like a perfect way to like both promote the product itself and then also talk about real things I'm building and share real code with people.
Have you done Inbox Zero on your Learn from Open Source channel?
Yeah, I think so. It should be there somewhere. It's probably quite dated. I think things have changed. Yeah, it's over a year old. I have done it somewhere, but I probably sort of need to do a redo. But a lot of like the videos since then have like maybe covered like one aspect of it, or like the MCP integration video that will come out in a few days will like go like I'll show real code examples from within the Inbox Zero repo basically.
Oh, cool. So if it sounds like you went open source because the community is like a huge part of it, and like being able to learn.
Aspects definitely like a big part of it. Yeah.
What's the hardest part about being open source?
The hardest part, I don't know if there's been any major challenges, honestly. Like there's always that worry. This is hard to judge, but there's always that worry like someone's gonna like copy your features or to sort of take your code base. Having said that, it's very easy to go like sign up to any product, see what features they have and copy them anyway, especially with AI being able to build so much for you today anyway. There's definitely like some disadvantage there. I think some people in the open source community, I guess, try to downplay it. It depends on like sort of the product. Overall, I would say I wasn't super worried about it, but there is like sort of some small downside that like competitors can just sort of read everything you're doing. You come up with a good idea or a good way to handle something, they could potentially just read your code base and copy it and do the exact same thing.
Yeah. What has been like the weirdest thing that someone has put in a PR for, like the quirkiest request? And did you accept it?
So it's funny, I haven't accepted a huge number of requests, so like PRs. Okay. The areas where like probably the most PRs have been accepted is like around like sort of the DevOpsy side of things. Like right now we're hosted on Vercel. I mean, we have been from the beginning. And so I don't really need to deal with DevOps. I mean, that was a choice. I didn't want to, but like people that are self-hosting it, like they want like a Docker file, like your Docker image set up for it. And so a lot of the stuff around that was contributed by others. And now we're self-hosting more for other people as well. So that it's been like an advantage that like other people like spent the time like sort of ironing that out and putting time into that to make it to make it work well basically. But in terms of like the sort of the core PRs. It's been really difficult. This is, I guess, a challenge of open source. You're not paying the people that are sort of contributing, so I can't really expect that much from them. But often, the people that are contributing to Inbox Zero, they might be quite junior. They almost just want to get one PR out there to say like, hey, I contributed to an open source project, and those aren't valuable for the product. They could be low quality code or bugs. Often it's not tested, so that's been like a challenge in terms of like accepting community contributions.
What do you think, like what percentage that come in do you accept like into the project?
It's less than 50% of PRs. I also get like noisy PRs where it's like AI generated. Like I have like this one bot which is just like opening issues or like just posting random stuff. I don't even know what it is, but I just like when this person like does something, I just like close it. It's like, yeah, I'm actually not quite sure what that like account is doing. Yeah.
So is there anybody that's like a regular contributor and you're like, hey, this is really cool, and you kind of like have built a friendship out of it? Like, has community made really cool relationships for you in the open source community with this project?
Yeah, so I would say definitely like connecting with other open source founders has been super valuable. I would say not most, but I'd say a lot of the major open source projects, I've spoken to the founders of them. We have a relationship, with friends. And so also like one of the big benefits of doing open source, for anyone listening, when I came first on Product Hunt, basically every product like within this community of like open source founders, like everyone was getting first on Product Hunt or second or so. And basically we used to have a Discord. I don't know how active it is anymore, but all these like commercial open source founders, and when one person posts, like everyone's sort of resharing and liking and upvoting it. And it's a growth hack for like Product Hunt or lots of other places, honestly. If you're like open source X, then like you'll get a lot of goodwill from the community, and like also from other open source founders in this community, everyone was sort of upvoting everyone. And so I could point to like probably like 5-10 projects around that period, or even now still, were like all like sort of like Product Hunt number one, and it led to real like growth in the product and lots of signups and lots of paid users as well, honestly.
That's like really cool to hear, because you like open source is good to like learn from code and stuff, but it's the community and the people behind it that really make it special and just like where you want to be. I didn't know that. I didn't know you were all like at that time upvoting each other's stuff and like really encouraging people, because we're all building really cool stuff and we want everyone to succeed, and the open source community is just naturally doing that. So that's just like really cool to hear. So Inbox Zero has been around for about 2 years. What do the next 2 years look like for Inbox Zero? What are like your big goals? If you can share, if you want to make it a surprise, you don't have to.
Yeah. No, I mean, I would say like the biggest goal, like it is literally just like the financial goal. I want to, I don't know, 10x the business type thing. It's been steady. It's nice. I can't complain, but I do want to like sort of jump it up a level right now. It's largely bootstrapped. I am in Tiny Seed, which like they invest in bootstrap founders, like sort of an accelerator for bootstrappers. But other than that, I don't really have like sort of the goal of like raising like some crazy big round or anything. I just want to keep running it as like a profitable, sustainable business. And yeah, like just sort of like growing financially would definitely be a big one. Other goals are just like getting more big customers on board. And I guess like product wise, like just I wouldn't say that email is solved yet. So I would really like to like just like keep improving the product. And yeah, there are a few goals in terms of like I want you to sign up, and maybe like the next day you actually have a clean inbox, or like 90% of it is cleaned out. Like goals like that we don't do well enough yet, basically, like on a product side. And yeah, I mean, there's a lot of different directions on 2-year time span. Like so much stuff can happen. We recently integrated, I mentioned before, the MCP integration, but into things like HubSpot and Notion and Stripe. And so that makes the AI assistant way more intelligent. If you can somebody asks, hey, can I get a refund? And like a human would be able to go into Stripe and see what happened and draft a response based on that. So now Inbox Zero can do things like that as well. So definitely room to expand even more on sort of the integration side into different products.
Sweet. Do you do versions? Like, are you on like Inbox Zero version 3?
I actually looked it up today randomly. I had to paste it somewhere. What was it? It was like, I don't know. It's like somewhere in version 1, honestly, is where we're at. Um, but yeah, I might do a version 2 launch actually. Now you ask it about it, we're doing like a rebranding for like the landing page and like sort of marketing assets and like sort of the outward facing brand. And so maybe we'll do like a V2 launch, and that could happen in the next month or so.
So you heard it here first, folks.
Yeah.
Inbox Zero version 2 launch coming to a computer near you. Cool.
Yeah.
So you're building open source, you're doing all this great stuff. What would be another like fun project that you would work on that like would be in addition to this? It's not Inbox Zero, but like, oh, this is like a little side project that has been on your mind and would, yeah.
Yeah. So the one that comes to mind, which I keep pushing off, but we bought the domain like the Dante Lex, if anyone follows him on Twitter, or he had a project called hi.new. And so we basically moved that into Inbox Zero, and I was supposed to relaunch it. And I haven't done anything with it yet. It's a super cool domain, like hi.new. And the
Hi,
idea,
like
yeah,
hi,
like hi.
or like hi,
Exactly.
like,
Oh,
okay.
sorry. Like hello, yeah. Like
Okay.
hello.new. And so the idea, and it related to Inbox Zero, because the idea is like basically giving you a way for anyone to contact you. And like, for example, you could get the domain like cap at hi.new, or you could also send someone a link like hi.new/cap. And the idea was that you could like people could contact you. It could be AIs contacting you, it could be humans contacting you, but it would be sort of like this filter before your like actual inbox. Like you might not want to like tell people cap@vercel.com or whatever your email is. Like you'll get a ton of spam. Inbox Zero does like block out all the spam, but maybe you want people to give them an opportunity to contact you on your Twitter, but you don't want it to sort of flood your main inbox. So that would be what the link would be for. But then also beyond just humans using it, it would be also like you have an AI agent, that could also have like its own sort of email basically, or like hi.new/Ellie bot, for example, would send it to my AI bot. So that's a project, like it's not super complex to be honest, but it's been like sort of in the back of my mind for the last half year or more since sort of I got my hands on hi.new, and I would love to put live at some point basically, and think it would work well with Inbox Zero.
Agreed. So I have like an email question. You're the email expert. So when I want to hit Inbox Zero, is archiving the only way to be considered Inbox Zero, or is unread considered Inbox Zero as well?
I'm an archiver, but I think both are fine. If you want that
Okay.
number to go to zero down the side, like if you've read all the emails, then you're also going to be on zero. And I think a lot of users do the read unread. I don't know the stats for our own users. I should know, but my feeling is that more people are read unread versus archive inbox people.
I'm a read unread person,
Yeah.
and a lot of my friends are archivers, and it just like, I don't know, it scares me to like archive it. I'm like, no, I'll just mark it as read. It's good.
Yeah, well, the good thing to know is, yeah, it makes sense. Before you started doing it, like I used to be a read unread person, and then started with archiving, but it's always there in your email history if you want to search it, so it's not deleted. That's something I do recommend to most of my users. Like really no need to delete users most of the time. Delete emails, just like archive them all, so you always have them in case you accidentally deleted the wrong thing. Like no need to do that basically.
Got it.
Unless some sort of security reason you're doing it.
I feel like I would thrive more on archive because I do is unread. And so I'm kind of like pulling up and like making that an archived looking list. I should probably try archive. This is
Do you
my
have
sign.
Like inbox where like the unread stuff is all at the top, and like or it's just a mix of read and unread?
It's a mix. It's a mess. Ellie, don't look at my inbox. It's so embarrassing. It's so messed up.
I'll send you a quick tip afterwards that like even not related to Inbox Zero itself, but related to Gmail, like that might be helpful, but it might not be. Like you can split the two. Like when I used to do that, I used to at least like split them so I could get like to Inbox Zero in like sort of the top section.
So cool. All right, so we're at the end. I have one more question. Before we do the last question, where can people find you? Where are you hanging out online?
So X, YouTube, LinkedIn, I guess. I'm Elie, ELIE, 222 at all of them. Well, actually, some of them I'm like 4 2s. I think my X is Elie with 4 2s at the end. ELIE with 4 2s at the end. And then from there, you'll probably get my YouTube and other things from that.
I'm going to put your X in the, well, Jacob will put your X account in the chat. And then your YouTube, you're streaming to that today, so that's really fun.
Yeah.
Cool. And then you're a part of the open source program, and we just love having Inbox Zero part of it. We're just like really grateful to have all these really cool open source projects. We are currently in the choosing phase, choosing week for our fall cohort. So Ellie, you will have another cohort joining the open source program. A lot of new builders. Well, maybe not new, but
I have
yeah.
some ideas in mind. I literally just randomly like started working with someone across the desk from me, also like doing really well at open source, like 20,000 stars. So I will tell them about it. Hopefully they can get in.
Awesome. Yeah. Send them my way. Okay. So last question. What is your favorite dessert? I ask this every open source stories. And I like hearing people's.
So there used to be this bakery near us, like right across the street, or not even a bakery, like a pizza place, but it had like, I'm forgetting what it's called, but it was like this pastry or like some sort of like chocolate Nutella thing inside. My wife would laugh at me that I forgot the name, like mascarone or something. I can't remember. That
Okay.
was it was like this pastry or like the Nutella type thing inside, and that was, yeah, that's my favorite dessert. But I haven't had it in a few years now.
I don't like. Is it like a macaron almost, like the pastry on the outside and like soft like stuff in the inside?
Yeah, I'm trying to think like what. Wow, it's been a few
Or
years
like
now.
a Danish where the pastry's like this and then it's like kind of in the middle?
Yeah, I'll need to take a picture of it and like send you like next time I go. It was sort of like a roll with like chocolate inside, basically. But
Like a cannoli kind of?
it wasn't. Wow, I'm forgetting what it was called. Like it's definitely like got like a common name, and I'm just like blanking on what it's called right now.
Someone in the chat is like, it's this, and we're like, cannoli?
Yeah. It's not cannoli. I'm gonna message my wife afterwards. She'll know immediately like what I'm talking about.
Awesome. Cool. Well, it was so great having you. Learned a lot about Inbox Zero and how even I can improve my inbox. And then open source community is just like where we're all at. And it's just really cool to see how you've been a part of that community and have been there for over 2 years. So it's really great to like hear your story. So thanks for joining us. Thanks to the chat for hanging out and for watching. We will see you next week for our last one for open source stories.
Cool. Thank you so much for having me.
Thanks everyone. Thanks, Ellie.
That's it. Bye.